guys, it's Hillary at Little Apple Pilates. I just wanted to do a quick hello, and if you're new to Pilates, I know sometimes one of the questions are why Pilates? And so I just wanted to give you some foundation as like if you were just getting started to kind of know what you're getting into. So as far as I've learned, we want to do as much as necessary but as little as possible in the sense that preserving our biomechanics. If we gun it all the time, we really just kind of deplete our energy. And of course you can build sustenance on it, but what is enough? And so we're always working for maximal results with the moderate effort. So different Pilates principles that we use to kind of help with that are breathing, axial elongation, and core control. We do spine articulation, organization of the head, neck, and shoulders, weight bearing of the extremities, and movement integration, just to name a few of like the hierarchy as we follow through things. So when we stack those principles with movement on our body, it really helps us become our whole selves. So let me think. I want to talk a little bit about breath first, okay? So yoga, they talk a lot about belly breathing, whereas Pilates, we talk a lot about rib cage breathing, okay? So what I like to lay down, it gives me sort of a layout to work on. So what I want to do is I like to take my hands on my ribs. Normally the back arch when you lay down, that's really normal. So to get started, what I do is I go ahead and lay down. And so I like to take my hands on my ribs. I'm going to breathe in, fill my hands up with air. And then when I exhale, I kind of want to pull my ribs close together as if like I have a corset. And then again, I breathe in deeply. And I'm going to exhale. Good. And when I do that, I'm allowing everything in my center to draw tight together because I'm setting the ribs closing, which kind of ignites this compound to work together. Other things that we talk about in class is sometimes I'll take a nice deep breath in, and I'll try to breathe through the back of my lungs, and exhale. And so being able to breathe through the lungs and expand your ribs and then close helps kind of set the basic tonality of moving your diaphragm and making sure everything inside works. As far as axial elongation, I always start my classes laying down like this. I tell people, pretend like you're a little kid and you're at the amusement park and you want to get on a ride but you're too small, and you know how sad that is. You've always been the kid to not be able to join and participate because you're too little. So you try to make yourself really tall. So I'll tell people to plant their tailbone and get really tall if you're trying to make yourself longer to ride on there. And what that does is it creates it lessens the pressure inside of you on your disc, and it creates space so that as I start building strength like this, I'm doing it with my disc being separated as much as I can, and my ribs holding myself steady with my musculature here. Another one is core control. So we'll talk more about how they interlace and what that means, but I would like to be able to like lift my legs without my torso, my back doing a lot of things, or even lift one leg, or could I take my arms and be able to keep my core steady, or can I take them both up and not kind of lose myself? So that's another principle. Spine articulation. We want to be able to move our spine because it makes you feel better and it spaces things out, and it's just overall good for you. If you ever had a tight back, I don't have to sell you on mine, it's good for you. So for example, here, I'm going to move my hands out of the way. Spine articulation, I'm going to start with my tailbone for this one. I'm going to roll and pushing my low back down by using my core complex. And then I'm going to bridge my hips up high. And then I'm going to start at my breastbone, and I'm going to lay myself down one vertebra at a time, really sinking through for my low back. And then when I get to the bottom, I'm going to go all the way to my tailbone. So I'll show you that one more time. I'm going to soften my tailbone. I'm going to lift and reach myself, opening my chest. And I'm going to soften my breastbone. And I'm going to lay myself down. If I were doing spine articulation from the top, I'm going to straighten my legs. I would start on my cervical spine and my neck. And I would nod. And I would roll myself up. So that's another version of spine articulation. Organization of the head, neck, and shoulders. I'm going to stay sideways. Things that are important is that when I'm building strength, I want to build strength with my ear over my shoulder. I don't want to build strength like this or even like this. I want to be able to build with my alignment, which in turn gives me good posture, which is Pilates is really famous for. Also weight bearing at the extremities. So extremities would be your hands or your feet. So for example, let's talk about this. This is a soapbox of mine. If you don't like planks, it's probably because you're not good at them, and that was me. So for example, if I did a plank like this, it would probably be very uncomfortable and I wouldn't like it. So what we want to do, and what we'll teach you in Pilates, is how to organize this so that it's a normal challenge versus something that's really uncomfortable. And so when people say no pain, no gain, sometimes you think it has to be uncomfortable, but it doesn't. It just, it'll be a normal fatigue versus like a ache kind of thing. And that's what we want to do. We want to be healthy and have that healthy fatigue, not that exhaustion, and being able to define those. So for example, if I were to want to plank, I would want to pull my shoulders down my back, I would want to lift my chin up, I'd want to pull my belly button in, and I'd want to be able to support it. So again, I don't expect you to know all that right now, but that's the stuff I'd like to teach you. And one other thing is being able, for the extremity or for your feet as well, but we'll talk about that. We start on the ground and we are able to build ourselves up into our whole body. And then movement integration. For example, let me go back to that idea, is I want to be able to use my whole body and have it make sense and have a purpose instead of flailing, which sometimes is burpees. Okay, like burpees are fine. I'm glad if you like them, but like being able to make sense of what our movement is so we can replicate it in real life. So for example, I would want to be able to lift my leg up. This would be a movement integration thing where I'm being able to hold myself a certain way and to integrate other parts. Or another really common one would be like the teaser. I might just go into bow. I don't know how my hamstrings are feeling. I didn't really stretch them a lot. But for example, I would want to be able to nod my chin, curl up, and reach my legs up and out. And then I'd want to be able to scoop my core back in and set myself back down. And that would be more of a movement integration. So as you're getting into things, what we're doing really has a purpose and is building on our foundation of our future. So I really hope you enjoy